right, welcome to Building a Better Marriage. I'm Dr. Rick Gillespie Mobley, and today I would like to talk to you men who are fathers or are thinking about becoming fathers. And I'd like to use as a basis for our talk man in the Bible that we can really pattern our lives after as to what a father is all about. Because he's a man who knew what it was to hurt, to feel pain from his own children. Jesus tells us of the story. It's in Luke chapter 15, and he says that a man had two sons, and his two sons, as they were growing up, he did his best to raise them the best that he could. He gave them the love and the care, took care of their needs the best that he could. But one of his sons, he just couldn't wait to get out from under his father's control. He didn't want to go to the services for worship. He didn't want his father's rules and restrictions. He just wanted to be able to go out on the clubbing scene. And he couldn't wait to get away from his father. As a matter of fact, he was so bent on not waiting, he had the audacity to go to his father and say, "Look, Dad, I ain't got time to wait for you to just croak over and die. Why not just give me my share of the inheritance that I would get in your will anyways? Give it to me now and let me go do my own thing." And this father, he looked at his son and he must have felt sorry for him, but I don't know why. He went ahead and he did what his son asked him to do. He gave him his share of the estate. And the son leaves with probably hundreds of thousands of dollars, and he doesn't just leave and go across town. He goes all the way out of the country in order to live it up. And live it up he does. He buys him a nice fine home. He's got friends left and right. Why? Because he's partying all the time. And he's always inviting people to come over to his parties. And things are going really, really good for him. But then one day something happens. A famine comes in the land. And when a famine comes and there's not food and food starts to skyrocket and inflation sets in, pretty soon all that money that he had was about gone. After a while, his friends was gone. That beautiful fine home he was living in, it was gone. He realized, I got to get a job just to eat. So he went out and he got a job feeding pigs. Now he's gone from living in a mansion to feeding pigs. And not only is he there feeding pigs, he doesn't have enough money to feed himself. So to try to make ends meet, he starts to eat the slop that he's feeding to the pigs. But he realized there's no nutritional value in what he has. And then one day he finally comes to his senses and he said, "Look at here, I am being a fool. I am being stupid. Back home, my father's servants are eating better food than I am. They got on better clothes than I do. Here's what I need to do. I need to go home. I need to admit to my dad, Dad, I really blew it. I sinned in your sight. I sinned in God's sight. I ask you not to take me back as a son, but to at least let me be a hired man." And to his surprise, this father is going to welcome him back into the family. And his father is going to throw a great party because he's so excited that his son has come back home. But in the process, he is going to alienate his other son, who was the older son, the boy who never left home, the boy who always did what his father said, the boy who has done his best to try to please his father. And his older son is going to be offended by his actions to welcome back this son who has wasted all of his father's money in wild, loose, and promiscuous living. And then this father is going to have to reconcile himself to this son that he's hurt and offended. So we're going to see what goes into a father to make it so that you can be hurt, you can just have things kind of kicked in your face, and yet you find a way to get up and to walk away whole, and to still be able to hold your family together. And how is it that you're able to kind of humble yourself so that when you've hurt one of your own children, you're able to go and explain yourself and bring that reconciliation back? Because men, if there is one thing we really need in today's world, it's to be reconciled with our children. So many of us have found ourselves alienated from our children for a variety of reasons. What caused that alienation is not nearly as important as what steps are we going to take to try to bring about a reconciliation and a healing in their lives. Now, I want us to look at this father, and I want us to focus on the acrostic father, so that we can kind of have a grip on some of the kind of things that we need to remember. So that as we're spelling the word father, and we're taking the first letter, each letter out of the word father, and assigning a word to it, here are the things we learn about what this father stands for. All right? The first thing about the father is the letter F. And F stands for forgiving. If you were looking in your Bibles in Luke chapter 22, you see the father tells his servants. Now this is when that boy has come home and he's not looking good, he's not smelling good. He's just gotten to that point where he said, "Father, would you please just make me as one of your servants?" Verse 22 it says, "Hurry, bring the best clothes and put them on him, and also put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet." Now this father, he's ignored what his son said about making him a servant, and he's telling the other servants, "Come, I want you to do this for my son. Put on the best clothes, put ring on his feet, on his finger, put sandals on his feet." Now I want you to know, in order to even get close to this father had to be forgiving. He was willing to forgive his son for all the pain and the hurt that he has caused. Now, dads, I know sometimes this is hard. You know how much you've done for this person. You know how you've sacrificed for this person. And they just didn't make the kind of decisions you hoped they would make for their lives. But we still need to forgive them. Are you willing today to consider forgiving your child? Hi. If this broadcast has been a blessing to you and you would like to listen to the message in its entirety, please go to our website at www.glenvillenewlife.com and you can choose the sermon that you would like to listen to and view it in its entirety, and it will be in a much clearer format. That's www.glenvillenewlife.com.